I remember it like it was yesterday. We had just broken up. She had came back. She was seeing somebody else at the time. And I was in her kitchen on the ground and I felt like I was a little boy. And this is for guys that are feeling like they're anxiously attached to a woman and they cannot break free from that, especially high performing men, because things up inside of our heads seem to be moving a lot faster. But in that moment, I remember almost like it was like an out of body experience. And I was telling myself I needed to be better. I needed to be the version that was going to be, she was going to be comfortable with, that she would love and that she would be cherished by, and that I was the one that was doing everything wrong. And little did I know that in that moment, that was my 10-year-old boy showing up. That he was the one that had been abandoned when he was little, where it created this wound and attachment that I didn't know what to do with. And really at the time had no idea what was happening. But it caused me to have behavior that didn't align with who I was. The man that I knew I was capable of being, the man that I had been prior, the man that was doing homicide investigations, the man that really was growing into the best version of himself. Because up until that point, everything else had fallen apart and he had just started this journey. He had moved from being victim to the circumstances of his life and into the creator where like, hey, you know what? I actually do have the ability to control my reality. And through that, it was a really difficult process. I didn't know what was going on underneath the surface that was causing these attachments that wouldn't allow me to let go of it, where I felt that I couldn't let go of her, and everything I was doing and behaving was coming out of that space, where I would do anything and everything to keep her. Not really realizing how destructive the relationship was, how much I was self-sabotaging in there, and how much that people pleaser inside of me was actually showing up in a way that was creating a really safe environment. It took me years of peeling back my layers to uncover what was actually happening, which is that I had no safety for myself, that I had not been provided the ability to heal, I hate that word, but repair all of the wounds that had shown up when I was younger, how to actually like go into those old stories and rewrite them. And I'm going to tell you right now, like in this particular segment, I'm going to share with you how you can do that. And if you don't have a journal, you need to get one. And you need to start writing out, what is it that I'm experiencing? Why is this showing up in my life? And then also trying to find those old stories. Because inside those old stories, inside the old narratives, is where you're going to find out why you keep behaving and responding the way you are. It's actually not responsive, it's reactive. How reactive you become to the situation. And the further you start to understand that, and the further you process that out and you put all of that energy out, then you can start to rewrite it. What is the version of me I know I'm capable of becoming? How do I become that man, or how do I believe that that man exists? It's very simple. You're divinely created. You're breathing. Your heart is beating. Your lungs are filling. You are a miracle in and of itself, the fact that your heart beats. And we simplify things and start to understand I am alive, and that is a gift. Then we can start to expand upon that. Then we can start to expand upon what are my natural, unique gifts that are authentic to me, that are different than every other man that's out there. How do I capitalize on those to bring great abundance into my life and my time and my wealth with my family? And how do I start to play these spiritual games of fitness and relationships and business so that I can then step into what God has for me, the life that I actually was meant to live? Because up until this point, I've been hitting this thermostat, and that thermostat has been keeping me small. I'm tired of living small. I'm tired of being that version that feels like he's 10 years old, right? You start writing all of this out and you start to process it out. You also find a group of men that are trustworthy, that are wanting to do the same thing. You will be held accountable with the right group. And you do have to be very careful with which groups you choose. And, I think men's groups inside of churches are great, but here's the thing. Everybody's accepted. So the guy that's very victim to his circumstances that needs to be inside of that group because he wants to take and he doesn't want to give, there's no filter for that. So you go and you find a group that is truly committed, and they do that with their wallets. They show their commitment with their wallets, and you get into a room of guys that are actually doing things at a high level. And when you do that, and you start to be around other dudes at a high level executing that are busy with their time, doing crazy, complex, different problems, whether it's in their relationship or trying to fix their own internal process or their own personal development or their business, and learning strategies on leadership and sales and marketing, and how do I actually create a blue ocean strategy where it's so unique that I have no competition. You get around people and different ideas, different limits. Like, they're not limited by what average people are limited by. You want to stay average, you surround yourself with average people. If you want to be extraordinary, you surround yourself with extraordinary people. And then you'll be held accountable, not because people are barking at you, but because you want to impress them, you want respect, and you want to respect them. So you respect their time. And I've seen this time and time again, the guys that I work with in my group, and how they come in not knowing, and then all of a sudden things start to shift because they see what's going on. And it starts to click. And once it starts to click, you start to see the hope, and you alleviate the stress and the anxiety and the attachment, and you start to surround yourself with a bunch of savages that want to be dangerous lovers, that want to be up to something, that want to have big missions and big purposes. That is how you move faster on this. That's how you let go of what could have been and step into what will be. Now, if you found this super helpful, please hit that can't even talk. Hit that subscribe button. And, if you're interested in what we do and our group, you can certainly apply down below. We're very selective with the guys that come in because we want to make sure they're the right fit. And if they are the right fit, we welcome them in with open arms. But, you can find that information down below. And I hope you're having a wonderful day.